There's no doubt about it that a lot of fans have had a lot of issues with Kathleen Kennedy over the years, not just with The Last Jedi, but also The Rise of Skywalker and other aspects of the Star Wars franchise. Now, with that being said, when we look at Kathleen Kennedy, a lot of fans want a better future for Star Wars, and of course we will be getting that all thanks to Disney CEO Bob Chapek. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, one thing about Star Wars is that right now it seems to be in a critical position, alright? A lot of fans are very much, I guess you could say, judgmental about where Star Wars is really going based on its creators, and that's perfectly fine and okay. I mean, I myself had a lot of issues with The Last Jedi especially, and even had some other issues with The Rise of Skywalker here and there. It really felt like a movie that was out of place. So, Lucasfilm's Kathleen Kennedy, there's no doubt about it that she really was very incompetent as the head of Lucasfilm. Thankfully, no longer, she is able to interfere with creative choices of the new Star Wars projects that are in the early development phase, so there's that. That's very much, satisfying a lot of fans out there. But not just that. A lot of changes are being made over at Lucasfilm as we speak, such as Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni having a bigger role in creative levels and creative choices for these new Star Wars projects, so that's another thing to look forward to. However, what's really intriguing about all of this is, of course, now that both Disney and Lucasfilm are finished with The Rise of Skywalker, they are focused on their new Star Wars universe, also known as the new Expanded Universe. It's explained that many changes are happening over at Lucasfilm since the new Disney CEO, Bob Chapek, took over as the CEO of Disney over Bob Iger after he stepped down. It's explained that Bob Chapek is reshaping Lucasfilm as we speak and is said to have a plan to fire Kathleen Kennedy sometime in 2021 before her contract is said to come to an end, and that Bob Chapek already has 3 candidates to take over Kathleen Kennedy as president of Lucasfilm. Now, it's explained that Bob Chapek's plan is to introduce the new candidate to become a head of Lucasfilm sometime in early 2021, and that Kathleen Kennedy is said to have expressed that she may not want to continue her work over at Lucasfilm in 2021. It's noted that Kathleen Kennedy has had discussions with both Bob Iger and Chapek in the past, and how she may want to step down early before her contract is up sometime next year. This is said to be a big deal for Kathleen Kennedy after receiving great criticism for Star Wars in general. Now, it's unclear as to what this will mean for who will actually replace Kathleen Kennedy sometime in 2021, but nonetheless, Kennedy has expressed to Iger and Chapek about stepping down early before her contract comes to an end. It's said that in the meantime, Kathleen Kennedy is still in charge of developing a roadmap of Star Wars films, however will not be involved on a creative level in any way, shape, or form. So, that's the thing about Kathleen Kennedy. This really is, I think, something that should have been done on her own a very long time ago, especially just after the release of The Last Jedi. After the release of The Last Jedi, there was a lot of backlash. Kennedy kept on denying that there was any form of backlash and that it was just a minority. Then you had Bob Iger saying it was just a frequency issue when it came to how Solo: A Star Wars Story failed at the box office and how it had nothing to do with The Last Jedi's results. And you can really see that they were trying to cover up the overall backlash, right? The pushback from fans by, for Disney and Lucasfilm. Now, the fact that Kathleen Kennedy actually has an idea in place to step down early next year in 2021, just before her contract comes to an end, kind of reminds me, personally, of what Bob Iger just did. Bob Iger stepped down as the Disney CEO early for no apparent reason. We don't really know the true reason as to why Bob Iger stepped down. This was never fully explained, and I'm sure it will be explained in the near future. I would assume sometime, later this year toward the holiday season. We'll learn more about that as we enter 2021, when Chapek himself is going to have, full control over Disney. Again, like I say, even though Bob Iger stepping down was an immediate thing, there's still a transition phase for Chapek to become CEO of Disney fully. So, with that being said, everything related to Kathleen Kennedy, of how she wants to step down early as head of Lucasfilm, as the president of all things Star Wars. If you guys have to ask me, I think a lot of this is rooted to the fact that, she no longer has creative control, and I feel that Kathleen Kennedy herself feels like that she has less power and feels less important at Lucasfilm, and that she may very well be thinking, what's the point anymore, right? So when you look at it in that way, in that point of view, I can understand why Kathleen Kennedy would want to step down, not just because of that, but also because of the criticism of Star Wars in general. I mean, it only makes sense, right? So, with that being said, like I said before in the past, when you look at Disney Star Wars, a lot of change needed to happen years ago, even. And now that we're just wrapping around to this really does tell us that Disney is in a phase of desperation. They're really trying to do damage control, and we'll see where it all leads us. So anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.